In today's episode, we're going to look at obstacles we need to overcome to get the sale. Number one, rapport and trust. We need to build trust and a bit of rapport before we can get the prospect to buy from us. The quickest way to build trust and rapport is not to sell, but to listen. One thing we need to always remember is that we know all about our product and service. The variable in all sales is the person buying from you. When they show interest, we jump on it straight away with the big sell. What we need to do is not give them all the information they need, but want them to know more. I like to establish the 70-30 rule here. You should be listening for 70% of the time and talking for 30% of the time. This way you are able to gain enough information to work out if it's a deal to qualify in or qualify out. Remember, your pitch should be the last thing you do. The second, barriers up from the start. Naturally, whenever we have a product or service to sell, the buyer has a barrier up, mainly because they don't trust you yet, especially if they have come to you. They think because of them or the misconception of salespeople that I'm trying to get rid of, that you do not have their best interests at heart. What we need to do is establish enough rapport and trust for them to be open and honest and let you know exactly what they want. That active listening piece comes back time and time again, as I'm sure you can see from my other videos. The buyer is normally trying to qualify your service out is number three. Most of the time, your buyer is trying to work out why their product or service doesn't fit them rather than why it does. Just think it through. If they really were sold on it already, then they would have bought it already. What you need to do is establish what they need your product or service to do and get them to come to the conclusion themselves. A good way to speed up that process is by case studies or social proving. A lot easier now with the use of social media. It can, of course, have a negative impact if you're not genuine, because then social media will not work in your favour. However, this school of sales is not promoting those behaviours. They don't really want what you are selling is number four. This could be because it's been asked for someone else in the business. It could be that the product or service, although they want it, they cannot envisage what the impact will be and what it will look like. It's our job as salespeople to show them that impact, be that via return of investment piece, or depending on what you're selling, something more fluid. Sales training, for instance, we wouldn't sell the product or service, but would sell the fact that your sales team will be more impactful because they have the right track to run on. Finally, you're not speaking to the right person. A lot of the time, we are not speaking to the decision maker. We are speaking to someone of interest, and that person is interested, but they need to speak to someone else to get the sign off. With good questioning up front, we can establish this early and make sure that we are not too far down the pecking order or down the journey with the wrong person. We can make this person a champion so that they can go and speak to their peers about us and gets in front of the right person. But if we can include that person from the start in the journey, even better. They're my 5 tips.